From Native American legends to incredible rock formations, these are 8 sacred and strange sites. Number 8. Crater Lake, Oregon. With a maximum depth of almost 2,000 feet, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and the 9th deepest in the world. Contrary to their name, crater lakes are not created from impact craters, but by calderas, aka volcanic craters. Located in Oregon, the caldera was formed some 7,700 years ago by the collapse of the Mount Mazama volcano. It took thousands of years before the caldera actually filled up with water, since it only accumulated from rain and snowmelt. The area surrounding Crater Lake has long been home to members of the Native Klamath tribes. Tribe members recognize Crater Lake as a site of power and danger. In one legend, Gmokhamk, the creator, emerged from a hole in the sky to make the volcano and then everything else in the world. In another telling, the creator pushed his way out of the shadowy underworld and through the mountain itself to create everything around us. As the stories go, another spirit, Lao, from the underworld, came through the crater and eventually lost an epic battle for a woman he fancied. Whatever the case may be, local Native Americans still have a big spiritual connection to the lake and its surroundings. Number 7. Meteora Greece. Located near the town of Lalibela, Meteora is a giant and beautiful rock formation hosting one of the largest complexes of Eastern Orthodox monasteries. Only 6 of the original 24 monasteries have stood the test of time, but they still managed to change the landscape into a deeply spiritual experience. These rock formations are present in other parts of the world, but what makes Meteora unique is the uniformity of the sedimentary rock hiding the signs of vertical layering, in effect, making the rocks look like giant smooth boulders. Nearby, the Theopetra cave has become increasingly important because it has signs of human presence there, dating back to the replacement of Neanderthals by modern humans, and later the transition from hunting-gathering to farming, which is pretty special if you ask me. Surprisingly, Meteora does not appear to be mentioned in ancient or classical Greek myths. The first documented inhabitants of the mountain and the surrounding caves were a small group of hermit monks who settled there in the 9th century. After some 500 years, the monks began building monasteries to protect themselves from Turkish attacks. As I said, only 6 of the original 24 monasteries still exist, 4 for men and 2 for women. Each of them houses around 10 people. Number 6. Glastonbury Tor, England. Glastonbury Tor is one of the most famous landmarks in Somerset. It's not just famous because it can be seen from miles and miles around, but also because it has huge spiritual significance for many people. The hill has a long religious history with evidence of pagan and early Christian settlement on it. The top of the Tor was leveled at some point in the 10th or 11th century to build a large stone church, which was sadly destroyed in an earthquake in 1275. In 1323, a smaller church was built on the ruins of the old one. That church lasted about 200 years before it was quarried for stone. Now, only its tower survives. Rich in legend and mythological associations, Glastonbury Tor may have been a place of ancient ritual. Since at least the 12th century, the Glastonbury area was frequently associated with the legend of King Arthur, a connection promoted by medieval monks who asserted that Glastonbury was Avalon. The Isle of Avalon was considered the meeting place of the dead and the point where they passed to another level of existence. Number 5. Monument Valley, Navajo Nation. Likely the most mesmerizing Native American site on this list, Monument Valley draws thousands of visitors each year. Located in Navajo land on the Arizona-Utah border, the valley is filled with many homes of Navajo people. The sandstone towers are the graveyard of a rocky mountain range, which has been eroded down by thousands of years of wind and water erosion. John Ford popularized Monument Valley by including it in his Western films, making this remote location what moviegoers think of when they imagine the American West. There are special names for many of the rock formations, like the Elephant Butte, the Three Sisters, Spearhead Mesa, and the North Window. Just like Monument Valley, the nearby Valley of the Gods is also a sacred place for Navajo people, whose mythology holds that these legendary grand spires contain the spirits of Navajo warriors. Number 4. Batu Caves, Malaysia. Visitors to the Batu Caves in Malaysia are always greeted by the massive 140-foot statue of the Hindu deity Lord Murugan. Visible from miles away, the statue stands guard outside of the sacred limestone cave complex. The Batu Caves temple complex consists of 3 main caves and a few smaller ones. The biggest, referred to as the Cathedral Cave or Temple Cave, has a very high ceiling and features ornate Hindu shrines. To reach it, visitors must climb a steep flight of 272 steps. At the base of the hill, visitors can enjoy the Museum Cave and the Art Gallery Cave, which are full of Hindu paintings and statues. The Batu Caves serve as the focus of the Tamil community's yearly Thiapusam festival. They have become a pilgrimage site not only for Malaysian Hindus, but Hindus worldwide. Number 3. 7 Strongmen Rock Formations, Russia. If you venture off in the middle of nowhere Russia, close to the Ural Mountains, you may be lucky enough to stumble across the Mampupaner rock formations, located on the so-called Small Idol Mountain. The rocks are also known as the 7 Strong Men and the Poles of the Komi Republic. The rocks took about 200 million years of rain, snow, wind, frost, and heat to make. One pillar, 112 feet high, stands out from the others. The pillars are said to resemble the figures of a huge man, or the head of a horse. And there are numerous legends associated with this site. The formations were once considered sacred by the local Mansi people, and climbing them was regarded as a sin. You can reach these strange rocks by hiking or skiing over the Dyatlov Pass. I'm sure you've heard of that place before. If not, let me know in the comments below. I'll make a video about it. Number 2. Lalibela, Ethiopia. The whole of Lalibela is a large and important site for the antiquity, medieval, and post-medieval civilization of Ethiopia. To Christians, Lalibela is one of Ethiopia's holiest cities. The population of Lalibela is almost completely Ethiopian Orthodox Christian. What makes Lalibela unique is the rock-cut monolithic churches spread around the hills of the town. The churches were built around the 12th and 13th century, when Lalibela was the capital of Ethiopia. Each church was carved from a single piece of rock to symbolize spirituality and humility. Perhaps the most famous of the structures is the Church of St. George. It is among the best preserved and last built of the 11 churches in the Lalibela area, and has been referred to as the 8th wonder of the world by many who have seen it. Number 1. Lake Titicaca, Bolivia and Peru. Ancient Inca legend in Peru tells of a time when Lake Titicaca was a fertile valley, a valley which the gods smiled upon. The people were happy with what the gods gave them, and they only had to follow one simple rule: do not climb that mountain over there. An evil spirit that lived on the mountain was envious of the happiness the people down below had, so he tried everything in his power to lure people to the top of the mountain. Eventually, a group of people decided to climb the mountain. They were met with the wrath of the gods in the form of thousands of pumas barreling down the hill, devouring anyone in their path. Inti, the god of sun, witnessed the carnage. As he wept for the humans, his tears filled the valley with water. Thus, Lake Titicaca was formed. Lake Titicaca lies on the border of Peru and Bolivia, and it's also the biggest lake in South America. Perhaps the most sacred place on the lake is the Island of the Sun, where at least 80 Inca ruins have been found. Check out the featured comment below, subscribe for more World Unearthed, and I'll see you in the next video.